Yeah, we can talk about that. And then what you were gonna say something before I cut you.
I think maybe just a little bit of extension off of like how like the industry that we're in, like we have to shift, and get away from kind of just the here's a workout, here's a fitness thing, here's a diet plan. Like you have to show the humanization aspect because with so many more platforms like this, like people have access to any way possible to find out about your life.
Yeah, there's so much more transparency now, right? Like, so before, we should just fucking start, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess we are. Welcome to the video, welcome to the podcast. We're here, this is Coffee Talk. This is a whole new series that Josiah and I kind of came up with last time we connected. We grabbed lunch. Josiah Novak here, he's a neighbor of mine. He lives right up north of DC. And we're both in the podcast space, we're both in the fitness entrepreneur space. And oddly enough, we're both sponsored by Four Sigmatic, who they don't know it yet, but they're going to be the sponsors of this series.
We're going to get a lot of new customers.
Exactly, yeah. So we're sipping on Four Sigmatic coffee.
It's actually amazing, by the way. This is not just a plug. This tastes really good.
I shared this with my mom on Facebook, and she was like, mushroom coffee. I was like, you haven't tried it.
It tastes like shot.
This, so I made up a little concoction. This is their mushroom mocha mix, which you probably can't see because I have a giant fisheye lens, but I'll link all this down below. So I used the mushroom mocha, and then this stuff, their lion's mane. This is that cognitive enhancement, man. I put this on especially, I know you do a lot of like intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
And so I put this on in the morning. I put it on, I put it in my coffee.
I wear it in the morning.
I just shower. I do my coffee scrub and I just focus so well.
My facial cleanse, yeah.
But this stuff you can actually get in one of their coffees, the lion's mane coffee. But I was out, so I just took the mushroom, added the lion's mane, boom, we got a beautiful, tasty mocha focused coffee, baby. So,
yeah, I'm not one to BS anybody. This stuff tastes incredible, man. Like, it really does.
It's real coffee.
Yeah, it tastes like the stuff you would get from like a small, maybe mom and pop coffee shop.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the Star Crack or whatever they call Starbucks.
Yeah, the burnt tar water. But if you love coffee, and you know I love coffee, this stuff, it's 100% Arabica coffee, and they add in nootropics, adaptogens, things like lion's mane, things like cordyceps, these naturally occurring substances that
it's good for gut health too.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, your immune system, your gut health, everything. Yeah. So we'll just put casual product placement over here.
Yeah, just go spend your old paycheck on it. It's fine.
Yeah. Discount code below, say 15%, no big deal.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, so Coffee Talk. Josiah and I, we've done it collaboration on the podcast. He has a podcast, I have a podcast. But I'll say, man, let's tone it down a little. It's kind of just like bullshit over coffee.
Yeah, gives it like fly on the wall experience, man.
Exactly.
Just like we would normally be chatting on the phone or something, or you call me up and we're just shooting shit. Yeah.
That's what this is. We just put a camera in front of it.
Yeah, exactly, man. Force it out.
So what we're just talking about was kind of an expansion off of like where we see the fitness industry right now. Of so many people have done so many things where they've gotten their niche market down, but even that has kind of become a problem where you have to, like I was saying, we're talking about Jason Phillips, he's done such an amazing job of, he found a crack even in his own niche and he just expanded upon it. And so, how do we stay pertinent in something that is really, really saturated? Right?
Dude, I think the biggest thing, and I was thinking about this on the way here, is talking more about what we actually struggle with, right? Versus what we're great at.
Yeah.
There's so many people out there who are great at getting in shape, who are lean and look healthy and have these like amazing highlight reel lives.
It's summer shred time right now.
Yeah, it's summer shred. Everybody's getting six-pack abs. Everybody's building their arms and all that fun stuff, right? But
not everybody.
Yeah, I'm a dad, right? But at the end of the day, like, there's a process to get to that point. And for a very long period of time, we were just talking about the end game. Like, and okay, here's a roadmap to get here, great. But what about the journey along the way? Like, how do we share more of the struggle?
Life. This is life happening to you. Just
like, I'm in traffic, right? I can't stop and get food, or I'm tired this morning, or my kid's up all night, or maybe, wife's homesick and like she wants certain food and I'm trying to be on a diet. And like, there's so many things, right? Like, but at the end of the day, when people buy your stuff or people subscribe to a coach, they think of you as like this alien who has it all mapped out and
figured it all out.
Every minute of every day is like perfectly constructed, right? But in reality, we're just like them. We just might have climbed to the mountain on the top before, right? So maybe we've had the experience, we've had the journey of getting to the peak, and now it's our job to go back and help people navigate to that point again, right? And so I think today's industry, whether you're in fitness or maybe even another space, there's so much movement to like migration towards transparency. Transparency, I feel like, is the major key. Like, if I'm going back and I'm talking to my 18-year-old self, and being like, hey man, here's how you're going to start a movement. Here's how you're going to build an audience of people that you can help. It's all about showing more transparency. Like,
can't hide shit. Can't hide shit.
Yeah, like if your brain goes, oh, I shouldn't share that, man. That's probably too much. You got to share that. Like, you got to talk about that stuff, because I guarantee there are other people, and probably so many people that have the same exact struggle, right?
This is such a good point. When I was on your show, when we were talking about kind of like the mental health struggles instead, for the first time ever really publicly, I kind of shared about how Ever Forward wasn't this just great happy-go-lucky positive thing that Chase is just lucky, he's always happy, always optimistic all the time. There was like a really dark time. And you know, I was even like questioning if I wanted to be alive. You know, I wasn't gonna take my life, but you know, I was in the military, and so I was like trying to do everything I could to not come back from being over there. And you know, and so when I shared that, it honestly I got some of the most positive feedback. You know, sharing like the real struggles, because that was real. That was something that like a lot of people could relate to. Of like, okay, actually you don't have it all figured out. You actually had to go through some shit so that you could be this person, so you could have, you know, you're on the top of the mountain now.
Dude,
it all started at the bottom.
Such a good point, man. Because going into that podcast with you, I didn't know you. Right? I knew of you. We had just connected through mutual people. We kind of, you know, run in the same circles or whatever. And going into it, I never even said this to you publicly, but I thought maybe you're kind of like this guy who has like it all figured out. You know, like you have like a big following, and you're kind of just this like smart guy who's just taking advantage of maybe things just handed to you, right?
Turns out I'm not smart at all.
Turns out you're dumb shit. No. But you know what's crazy is that up to that point, even in just that podcast, we were going back and forth. I was like, yeah, it's a cool guy, whatever. But as soon as you dropped that, I was like, this dude's like, we connected on a totally different level, right?
Like,
and I was like,
episode,
like I want to be like friends with this guy, because man, like he's just like me, right? He's been in dark times. He's had struggles. He's had these thoughts that I've had, and it connected with me. So I became a part of your audience at that point, like someone who was a fan immediately.
That's awesome.
But just because you were transparent about it, right? And maybe it's something you're scared to share. Not everybody wants to share those dark times. Nobody wants to talk about
like how. Sometimes you even think like, how do I share it? Like, what's the best way to share this thing? You know, do I want to do it? How do I do it? I go back to you follow Lewis Howes. You know? Like, one of the greatest examples I can think of is like I think 2-3 years ago was the first time Lewis ever shared his. He was I think not raped, but like sexually molested as a child by a close, I think, family member. And he went decades in his life just keeping that all in. But he said the moment he shared that, the episode he shared that on is still his most downloaded episode. Is the most feedback he ever has gotten on any content, and opened up his audience, because they're like, holy shit, this guy's real. Like you said, it's not just some person that we put on a pedestal that we think they figured it all out. You know, they have the secret sauce. But it's. I go back to one of the episodes I just released on this mini series I'm doing was. I think the whole subculture of Ever Forward and our particular brand and how we have shared our message in our life is that our subculture, our niche market is pain. You know, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. We wouldn't have these two words. Well, we would have them, but they just wouldn't have the same meaning of, you know, living a life Ever Forward was because we went through the shit. We went through, you know, 18 months of watching our dad, you know, suffer and die. And, you know, our subculture, I think that we really connect with is getting real with people, you know, showing that, hey, you have to understand that everything that life happens for, not necessarily for a reason, but you need to put reason to it and just put on the lens of what is this teaching me, even if it sucks, even if it hurts.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, when it comes to fitness, right, because we're primarily guys who love health and fitness. We want to teach other people how to live healthier, live more fit lives. But if you really construct something more around why that's so important and why fitness has been a tool that we've utilized to expand our lives, to impact other people, then you start to dig into things that are much deeper below the surface, right? Like the Lewis Howes example is so perfect because that guy built a huge, massive following based off his skill set, right? Of bringing people together,
massive
networking, But then when he shares something so sensitive and so like just like gut wrenching, right? Then all of a sudden it explodes. And so people out there who are like, man, like I want to break into this industry, or I want to be a fitness person, and I want to like, but I feel like there's so many people doing it. You're right, there are so many people doing it. But there's not that many people being 100% transparent, talking about like, dude, I struggle with depression, or man, I'm a binge eater, you know, or I'm a binge and purge person. Like, there's many guys out there that struggle with binge eating and then purging afterwards. Imagine if you talked about that. There would be so many people impacted and go, wow, this guy, he's figured out a path to get to a healthier state, but he didn't always just have it perfectly mapped out. He didn't wake up with like a perfect compass of just like, here's how to do this, and boom, everything's handed to you, right? It's just a powerful message, man.
But and by no means am I like knocking anybody who deals with this, but like I think like last year, maybe 2016, I felt like the hot topic, the hot subculture, the hot niche was anxiety. I feel like everybody came out of the woodwork. They're saying like, I struggle with anxiety. I suffer with like, I don't want to go out in public. And so like, where's the line of like sharing something maybe you're struggling with that's true and genuine versus just realizing maybe what the market is missing and I just want to fill it for the business perspective.
Yeah, it's a great one, dude. So like being genuine, you're right. And you could even compare this to diets, right? So like a fad diet comes on the scene. We'll say keto. Keto's the biggest one right now. There's big
right now.
Big YouTubers. I won't drop any names or anything, but guys who starts with a B. At the end of the day, there's a movement of, well, that's hot right now. So let me grab it while it's hot and let me sell it and make bank, right? And do that because I already have somewhat of an established brand, but maybe we've kind of plateaued, and now I want to make a huge splash. So I'm moving to this, right? When behind the scenes, they might be full of crap.
Yeah, they may not even do keto.
They may just be saying it and know the parameters around it and selling you an ebook on it or something, which, whatever. That's not being genuine.
Which works for the business side, but
it works for the temporary business side. That's not a business. That's a quick hot sell. It's going to be gone in a year. That's not a sustainable business model. Talking about things that are going to build a legacy for you. So we're 20 years from now, we're talking about ever forward and saying, Chase was talking about these things, and that impacted me 20 years ago, and that not only changed my life, but I taught that to my kids, and then they taught it to their kids, and now it's a message that you gave that was super genuine from the heart. Here's what I'll tell you. It doesn't have to be a massive issue, right? People want this like, oh, I suffer from anxiety, I can't get out of bed, when in reality, they're like totally fine. Maybe they had some anxiety at certain points, but it was just normal, right?
Maybe it's like getting over dramatized.
They're turning it into
I don't want to get out of bed, I'm suffering with anxiety,
I'm lazy, I suffer from depression. And like I said, I'm with you. I don't want to knock anyone who truly has these issues. But we all know there's people who truly have them, and then there's people who see a true business opportunity, right? So here's what I would suggest. If you don't have anything that you consider to be a big issue, maybe it's like, man, I just had trouble sleeping. But that's not a big issue, man. Like everybody has that. Not true. There's actually people out there who have real issues with this thing that might seem tiny to you, but if you share it and you show, I'm not perfect, man. I have a lot of things I'm trying to work through, and here's how I'm doing it, teaching people how to work through. They don't have to be these like, you don't have to suffer from suicidal tendencies, right? It could be just something as simple as, man, I struggle with eating at night, and it's a big issue for me because it really has kept me from my goal. Here's what I do to attack it. And you're just being super genuine. There might not be a million books written on it, but you're creating something now for those people who have that specific issue that just like you as a person, follow your stuff and go, wow, Josiah is now much more human to me, and I can latch onto his stuff, and I can start to follow him even deeper because at the end of the day, he has little things that he deals with that I deal with that I thought was just kind of like, it's not a big issue, but he's telling me that it is.
I'm sure you can relate. We both do podcasts, and we both work with clients group one-on-one, online, in person. I'm sure, how many times have you had a breakthrough with a client where you share something or you resonated with them with something what you're going through, maybe a barrier to why maybe you're not so successful in this program, this plan, whatever. Hey, I went through the same thing, and when you share that with them, it just clicks,
right? I mean, we do that all the time with our clients who have kids. Because I'm a young dad, I have 2 little boys. Just being honest, it's really tough. Right? Because they don't sleep as well as you want them to. They don't eat as well. They're picky eaters.
The schedule, I'm sure, is wild.
At the end of my day, after a long day of podcasting, doing stuff like this, and checking in with clients, I'm exhausted. Guess what? My real job starts at 5 o'clock.
It's you're the humanization of you right now. Is this your biggest struggle?
Biggest struggle.
What's your biggest thing?
100%. My biggest struggle right now is trying to do what I used to do to be, maintain a high level of fitness, a high level of productivity when I was a single guy. Right? Starting a business.
Wait, it's not the same?
No.
Once you get into a committed relationship, what?
You actually have to check in with
people. You can't just keep all the same things?
I can't just veg out and watch Netflix at 5 o'clock for 2 hours to kind of recharge. No, there is none of that. There is no oh, I can just eat whatever is on my diet plan and everybody else kind of just cater to me. No, that's not how it works. When you have 2, actually 3, because my wife wants to spend time with me.
Yeah.
My wife wants to see me show up in a big way, right? I can't come home and be like, yeah, guys, it's been a long day. Podcasting was tough. I've been talking all day. I'm just going to go upstairs.
It's not Mad Men times, people. It's not the 50s anymore.
Yeah.
Daddy needs a scotch.
Ring the bell when dinner's ready. Nah, man, it's not like that. And my kids expect daddy to show up 110%, right? So my biggest struggle now is like, all right, how do I got to change things around to be able to still get good results from my own personal routines and also be like the best dad I can possibly be, right? And the best husband. And to be honest, it's not easy. There's many days where I screw up big time. Like I come home in a bad mood, or it's 5 o'clock and I look at my watch and I'm like, oh my God, I have 4 hours to kill with my kids. That's not a good attitude, like, you know what I mean? But it's human. It's just, and I share that oftentimes with clients and people, and they're like, dude, I'm the same way.
It's okay to feel that, it's
okay, man.
It happens, like, yeah, you're human.
Yeah, it's okay. So then the thing is too, like, it's not just accepting it. It's like, okay, I accept it. Great, that's step number one. Yeah. But then step number two, where I see a lot of influencers kind of dropping the ball too, is that they just talk about it and they go, yeah, something from it too. Great, let's all like high five and like sing kumbaya, and that's cool, right? But then like, what do we do now? Yeah. We got to take some action. Yeah, we got to start putting a plan in place to, if we truly care about improving these things, how do we do that? So I think there's a big area that too, where teaching is, by the way, teaching is the greatest way to learn as well, right? That's how you.
The whole reason why like I got into this field, honestly, because like I was transitioning out, going through injuries, rehabilitating. Like I needed to learn all these things, so I went to school for it. I got a job as it. I began to teach it to others, and like, because then you see, like, even if you're trying to do something for yourself, fitness, for example, if you're trying to train a certain way, well, like, if you take that same program on another person and you have external eyes on, like, you see how the body moves in a different way. You see, like, probably areas where you're not maintaining the right form, or insert any change here.
Yeah, teaching is the fastest way to level up your learning. Right, and become a better just student of the game, so that you can provide the best information. Like I always tell people all the time, like I can tell when a coach who's an online fitness person has never trained someone in person before, right? Because they hand programs out and they go, dude, have you done this program? It's hard as hell. Like, what are you doing? Like, this person's never even been in a gym before, right? Come on, like, so getting out of your comfort zone with sharing things is a great first step. But then also getting out of your comfort zone when it comes to teaching how you're improving these areas, and being totally transparent about where you've screwed up, where maybe you still fall short, and showing those things in action, man. Like that's the biggest thing. Like when I latch on to coaches or influencers, people who have helped me, I don't just latch onto them because they're providing like transparency. I latch on them because they're not saying, hey, I'm transparent and I'm doing this, I struggle with this. They're also saying, hey, here's the action plan that I'm following. Here's where I'm still kind of screwing up sometimes, and here's things where I've had to kind of come in and pivot a little bit and make, maybe my plan wasn't originally working to improve, but now I've made these changes, and here I'm gonna teach you like what I've done to make sure that I'm still progressing.
So this is a good example, like, of when we go through our own shit, when like you have real life happen to you and we haven't maybe conquered this new mountain. So like in this example, like running your own business, being a husband, being a father, like who did you go to? Like what were the steps that you took? What source, what person, like how did this person who maybe has it all figured out, who did you go to figure it out?
Yeah, man. So I've had multiple mentors, but I think one that sticks out in my mind, he'll love the fact that I'm shouting him out here, but this guy named Ryan Mickler, he owns Order of Man. And he kind of went through the same path as me when it came to starting a business in the midst of being kind of a young dad, working on a marriage, because marriage isn't easy, let's face it. I mean, it's easier these days just to say, okay, it's not working, see it, right? It's part ways. But I went into my marriage and having kids and starting a business within about 6 months' time. Like all of it happened in one, like it was like a hurricane just came and smacked me across the face, and like all of a sudden my entire life changed. And immediately I was faced with a lot of just like chaos, right? Like a lot of fear, a lot of like, how am I gonna pay the bills? Wait, how am I gonna like stay up at night and take care of my kid? My wife needs some sleep.
Food, money, schedule.
By the way, I'm married now, right? Like I can't just go do guy stuff. I can't just go like and get some time away from everything and everybody all the time. Like that's not how it works. So I reached out to him. He was one of a few mentors that I've had, and sharing my struggles was so empowering to me, right? Because all that I got in return from him was him sharing his struggles and being like, dude, I went through the same thing. And here's what I did, right? And what I think it comes down to for a lot of people, when it comes to just all the stuff we're talking about, is a willingness to do the work, right?
So true.
A willingness to just be like, pick up the shovel and like, let's just go to work. Like,
one of my favorite quotes from The One Thing is, I say this all the time, is if you want to be successful in anything, whatever goal you set before yourself, the first thing is you have to, like, of course, accept that you want to change, realize you need to take action, but you have to be able to endure the monotony of success. Man, if you want to get, if we want to be better husbands, if we want to be better business owners, like I always say, man, you have to embrace the suck. You have to just like, okay, this is going to take work, and I have to fucking do it.
Let me give you a perfect example, man. This is going to make people laugh, but marriage is not easy, right? And you know this.
No.
It's really, like, honestly, if I'm putting money on it, it might be the hardest thing in life.
Yeah.
If you want a successful, long-lasting marriage, because everybody wants the easy honeymoon phase to last forever.
Gratification.
Right. Doesn't happen that way. This isn't a marriage show, but I'm going to use a marriage example. So when our marriage, because we've been through ups and downs, right?
How long have you been married?
We've been married now for 5 years.
Okay.
5 years.
I'm almost 2.
Yeah. So a little under 5 years. So we're coming up on our 5th year this September. So we've been through ups and downs. Nothing like totally like gone to shit or nothing like whatever. But
long-term relationships.
Yeah, exactly. And there have been moments of us wanting to quit for sure, especially with 2 little kids in a short period of time. So we started dissecting like what do we respond well to and what do we respond horribly to. And one of the things my wife really couldn't stand was the fact that small little chores around the house were something that I tended to avoid, right? Like I thought I was doing the big stuff. Oh, I'm fucking
doing the same person.
I'm doing a podcast, dude. Like with, I'm getting thousands of listeners. Like that's a big deal, right? Well, she didn't care about that.
Yeah.
She wanted to know, are you putting the dishes away? Right? And I'm like, you know, right? Like, so.
May this morning before she left for work, she's like, hey, maybe today you can put your clothes away. She did the laundry.
I do that? Hold on. That's not on my to-do list.
So true, man.
Yeah, so like, we started to realize that I was not showing what they dubbed. There's a book called The 5 Love Languages. If you haven't read that, check that out. It is helpful. It doesn't do all the work for you, of course, but it's very helpful. So we realized that her love language was acts of service, which, let's just dumb that down, that's doing shit around the house, right? And I wasn't. Flat out. I was doing a lot of work in work. I was helping with the kids, but I wasn't cleaning up a lot. She was having
doing
to
what you
go
thought
around.
was right.
Yeah, I wasn't going out of my way to like be a dick or anything, right? I just didn't know.
Yeah.
And so, okay, right, awareness starts to happen. You go, oh my gosh, like that's what she responds really well to.
Yeah.
So, when you talk about the monotony of success, what does that look like for marriage? Well, it looks like putting the damn dishes away every day. And I'm like, that's it?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, that's it.
Sauce, man. Yeah.
I mean, that's not it, but that is it, right? That is like a huge, huge thing. Assuming your partner responds well to that, that's what they really, really enjoy. That's how they feel loved. Man, doing that on a daily or at least weekly basis has really improved our marriage. Is it exciting? Hell no. Do I like it? No. But what I've done, and this can be applied to a lot of different things, so like with business, when you're doing the daily stuff, your social media content, you're writing, you're checking with clients, you start to go, wow, this is like really the same shit every day, right? Yeah. You start to make it more exciting by finding ways to stack enjoyment within those things, right? So when I put the dishes away now, one thing I do is I turn on music, right? Because I don't really listen to music anymore during the day. I'm listening to podcasts, I'm listening to self-help stuff, books, right?
Same.
But that's my time to kind of get into a flow state, throw on some good tunes, right? Makes me feel happy. And before you know it, the dishes are done. It takes 5 minutes, and I'm like, wow. Guess what? I just saved my fucking marriage.
I'll give you guys a great doing the dishes playlist. You listen to Spotify, right?
Yeah.
Brain food. If you just want to like get in the flow, if you're working, not knocking out emails, like I put this stuff on. Anytime I'm going to be doing a short-term task, like probably no more than 15, 25 minutes, I put that on, or I'll just find the same song and I'll loop it, and just get, like I said, get in flow state. And you can accomplish something that you want to do, get back into listening to music, and do these acts of service for the other person.
Right. Like I don't necessarily want to edit a YouTube video. Right. I mean that's kind of something that I would put on the list of like probably need to outsource that. But also like if I have to do it, if we're bootstrapping, right? Then cool. Like I have to do it, right? But why am I doing it? Well, I'm doing it so that my business grows, I impact more people, and put a really helpful message. My marriage, same way. Like I want to save my marriage, dude. Like I don't want my wife waking up one day and being like, "Dog, I'm sorry, I'm done." Like you don't put the dishes away.
Which isn't just going to be an overnight thing. It's going to be all these not doing the dishes and all this.
Yeah, years of not showing up and providing acts of service, right? And so that daily monotony of putting away the dishes or cleaning up toys or sweeping the floors or whatever, where she's really locked in with my kids and doing the kid stuff, and she's doing her part because that's where I really get a lot of love from, seeing her with my kids, right? So it's like she's doing her piece, I'm doing mine. It's not sexy, it's not like this crazy woo-woo shit, but man, it works.
Keeps the machine going.
Yeah, it works. It works. And so you find enjoyment by doing things that you enjoy, like listening to music or whatever it might be. Could be reading a book like while you're traveling. Like you hate to travel, but you got to do it.
So I was just saying, to kind of go back to what we were talking about, we think we all have the answers. Like we climb the mountaintop and like we just have it all figured out.
Yeah.
You're in a little bit higher mountaintop than me right now. So I just had my true full-time entrepreneur 90-day kind of window. But you know, I've been working on all this stuff for years and years on the backside. But now it's just full-time. So you've been doing it full-time longer than me.
A few years.
Yeah. So you're the higher mountain than me. I'm down here. Bring Chase up to the top.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, the thing is, and this will probably relate really well back to fitness, right? You look at someone who's got an incredible body, maybe they've, you know, reached some physical level of perfection. You look at it and you go, oh my God, like how am I ever gonna get to that point, right? I remember feeling that way actually when I first started working out. I saw Arnold, I saw Lou Ferrigno, like all these guys who were like these just massive human beings, and I go, how am I ever gonna look jacked? Like, that's just gonna take forever. And you have to go into building a business with the idea that, yeah, you gotta put food on the table, right? Like if you're not monetizing it, and if this is your only thing, like you gotta show up and do that. But there also has to be a level of peace knowing that this is gonna take some time, right? Also with the excitement knowing that you can grow much faster today than you ever could before with the resources that we have, right?
So true.
And so you have to wake up every day with, you know, the abundance mindset that there's so much opportunity out there because of the society we live in now, social media. People can get eyeballs on your stuff. People can see your stuff, right? Like what we're doing now. I mean, flashback 10 years ago, you couldn't do this.
Hell no.
Right? So it's easier to get your message out there. At the same time, building a strong business, just look at the history of any business. It just takes a lot of time, right? There's no really replacing the time investment. There's no way to truly take that and overnight it.
So that's what I just have to accept, and like I've gotten that, like just the monotony. You know, you have to invest the time, and so that's like step one, right?
I tell people all the time, you have to go into anything that requires growth, anything that's going to require a lot of investment, watering it daily, showing up every day, with the mindset that as long as you're seeing a return, as long as things are growing and you're not like throwing something out there and nothing's sticking, right? You have to go into it with a mindset that I'm never going to quit, right? Because I think a lot of people go into it with the mindset that if it doesn't work, I'm just going to quit. And they get a false sense of failure, right? Where they think, okay, just because I slipped up and something didn't go right today, that the whole world came crashing down. Right, and we have this all as entrepreneurs. Have you ever seen the memes where like the day in the life of an entrepreneur, where it's like you wake up and you're like, oh my God, I'm so happy I don't have to go to work, and it's like 2 hours later, you're like, fuck this shit, like I hate this job, I can't believe I'm doing this, I'm gonna go get a salary again, like, you know, and it's like up and down, and then it's like up and down. So in those, those down slopes, right, where you're kind of at back at the base of the mountain, and you're like, ah, I fell, I gotta climb back up again. That's where people go, oh, it's done, I quit, right? But if you just go, oh man, like, cool, what can I learn from that? Like, oh wow, that didn't work. Great, I don't have to do that again. Right?
That path wasn't the one that I should have taken to get to the next level, to get to the top, but you know, hey, here's another one. I can carve out another one.
Exactly. And so if you go, all right, man, like, I'm never gonna quit. I'm going at it with this attitude of like, I believe in what I'm doing. I believe in myself. I know that I'm putting a message out to the world that needs to be heard. I'm providing a service, a product, whatever it is that the world needs, that it's gonna be better off for having. Then you know quitting is not an option.
Hell no.
Now, what might be an option is pivoting, right? You realize things aren't working for a significant period of time, you go, man, I'm just not seeing the results I want, right? So then it might be a matter of reaching out to someone you trust, right? A mentor of some kind who's very trustworthy, who's been down that path before, can see kind of the predictions for the future and go, hey, you know, here's where you might want to take a look at things, here's where you might want to change things up a little bit.
Hire a coach.
Yeah, hire a coach. I mean, just like we do with health and fitness. There's only so much, I mean, I'm a health and fitness coach. I run a team of coaches now like you do. And I've probably hired more coaches than anybody I know. Because why? Because I want to learn this shit, man. Like I want to do it right. I want to get the best of the best so that I can go, all right, my knowledge combined with all the things I've learned, that's going to deliver the best product to my people.
That's definitely one thing I've learned was I've been working with my personal coach for like on and off professionally, personally, like for over a year, if not even 2. And through that, like I realized, like even though like we're in the same or similar lane, and there's so much shit that I don't know.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I didn't know until we got this extra eyes on.
Totally, man. Totally. I think another thing too that a lot of people, and I kind of get this as an entrepreneur, we have that like Han Solo mentality. Like I'm just gonna go after things myself. I'm a warrior, dude. Like I'm gonna battle. Like it's like that hero.
Team of the one.
Yeah, exactly. So what I can suggest, this is a mistake I made, right? So for the first few years, actually, up until recently, I shied away from collaborations. Why? Because I have a hard time with trust, right? I feel like, man, someone's gonna burn me on the back end, right? I'm gonna do something with them, and they're gonna maybe badmouth me, or they're gonna use me. I had some bad experiences, I'm not gonna lie. It's just luck of the draw. It wasn't anything I did wrong. It was just dealing with people that, maybe at the time, they're not bad people, just didn't have your best interest in mind, and it is what it is. So there's a chance you might get burned, but collaborating with other people does a couple things. Number one, it helps you learn, right? And also it builds a friendship, and it builds a feeling of like, I'm not alone in this. I have other people who are in the same journey.
That's it,
right? And that's really like those nights where you're having trouble sleeping and you wake up and things just aren't where you want them to be yet. Maybe it was a tough month, a tough year, whatever it can be. You have your support system. You have guys or girls that are going through the same journey that maybe there's something working for them. And they're like, hey dude, this is working for me over here. Maybe think about doing this or adding this to your repertoire.
Pivot, like you said, try something new, try something different.
So I think that never quit attitude, knowing that monotony is going to be there, like that's another area
you just have to
quit too. You just got to be willing to work, right? And oftentimes, here's the thing, like if this was easy, don't you think like we'd all be doing this shit?
Everybody would be filming.
I mean, we're in DC, bro. We're at the top of a freaking amazing building in DC, overlooking. I can see the nation's capital from here.
George, right over there.
Yep, George. I can see
big pointy thing.
Everything, right? Like it's amazing up here, and I'm filming a YouTube video with a fellow entrepreneur. I'm drinking amazing coffee. I don't have to answer to a boss in 5 minutes, right? Like that's an amazing life, right? I'm grateful for it. Is it easy? It's far from easy, right? But we have to start with this thought process of, man, we want something that is really hard to obtain.
Yes.
So it is going to be difficult. Just like a perfect body, just like a perfect marriage, first of all, there's no perfect, but just like a really successful body, successful marriage, raising kids for me, I know, like I went into it with this idea that I was gonna be a great dad. Oh, I'm so great, I grew up with 6 kids, I'm the oldest of 6. I know how to be a dad. Truth be told, I didn't know shit, right? And that's because I didn't experience it. So you get into the experience of running a business and growing a business and you go, wow, this isn't what I thought it was.
Hell yeah, so true. Like, I'm 90 days into doing this full time, and to kind of like echo one thing you said before was, like I had that safety net. And so like when I was doing my side hustle thing for, hell, it's been probably like 2 years almost, at least a year and a half, where I was like, I take on a few private clients. I started the podcast like a year and a half ago. Like I didn't jump full in because I was like, if it doesn't work out, or it's too much work. I got my job, but I just decided I wanted to go all in, and I just saw the opportunity potential of like, hey, I'm doing pretty well with 40-50% maybe tops my effort and resources. Imagine if I went all in. And I just bit the bullet, embraced the suck, and I gave myself like the same 90-day window of like, hey, you have to do this, you have to perform, you have to get revenue, you have to hit these numbers, you have to email this amount of people, have to talk to these many other coaches and mentors, and I did it, and it was just removing that fear. Now I got a whole new sense of fear because now like the safety net of the job isn't there. But man, I'll tell you, like brutal honesty, March was super lean for me, man. The last 30 days of this 90-day period, I was like, I about broke even because there was a lot more travel, so there's a lot more like things going on that wasn't the norm. But you know what? Here we are the first week in April, and I just got a new client this morning. Awesome. 3 of my other clients just extended for another like 3-4 months. So like the hard work that I had to put in last month, it's April 3rd, and I'm already squared away for the rest of April. So like,
it's a huge lesson, man. I think too, people don't realize that when you start a business, right? I mean, I don't care what business you're in. The work that you put in today might not be realized for a while. Like I'm talking years sometimes. Like I'm getting clients now that told me they found me years ago. So you have to understand, business is a long-term game. It's not for everybody. I don't want people out there, who maybe have families. Like I have a family, so I know that, man, if there's ever a time where shit really hits the fan, guess what? I gotta bite the bullet. I might have to go back to work, right? That's not in my head like all the time, but I know that as a man, as a husband, as a father, my #1 job is to show up and provide for them each day, right? doing that through my business right now, thank God for that. But when it comes to, like you said, you had a lean month, and then you have a better month to start the month of April. This month that you're having now, the good month, was created by the months and months and months of hard work that you put in already. They may have been, there might have been times a year ago that someone saw something and they go, wow, that guy's really cool, I should probably follow his stuff. But they don't ever buy something from you until a year and a half later. They listen to 20 podcasts, they listen to 30 YouTube videos before they decide to pull the trigger. So you have to know that business is a constant. I think about it like a savings account, right? So, if you check your savings account every day, you go, oh my God, dude, this isn't working. Like,
so I thought, slow, where's the money?
Like, dude, I put in $100 a week, whatever. It's like, right. But imagine if you look at it 2 years from now, you're like, wow, that was incredible. I get it, we all want that quick, we want that reassurance that what we're doing is actually gonna pay off. But man, oftentimes business is just like a constant, steady, consistent investment, right? So true, and then all of a sudden you wake up one day and you go, oh my gosh, this is working. Holy shit. And then of course 5 minutes later you're like, no, it's all going to hell. But no, I'm serious, but that is really the deal. Like, you have to understand that committing long term is the only way to do business, man. Like, otherwise it's just it's a one-entrepreneur, as I think Andy Frisella says, right? So
I had to do the same thing. I was like, you know what? I want this. Like, the potential is there. Like, I'm getting more opportunities to like travel and all these things, and I have to say no to this growth potential because I'm bound by this job. And by no means am I saying like everyone needs to quit their job, but I genuinely loved my job. In my last corporate career, but I was bound by so many rules and policies of that infrastructure and that business, and mine just had so much more potential. So I just went all in, man.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing too. Commitment is a hard thing. Like, when you really think about it, because when you fully commit to something, you are putting yourself on the line. Like, you are putting yourself in harm's way, right? Because at the end of the day, you don't know. There's no certainty tomorrow.
Hell no.
So certainty is such a thing, and as a society, we've been trained, and I'll even use the word brainwashed, to think that you're kind of supposed to have certainty, right? Every day. You're supposed to kind of wake up and go, well, worst case scenario, if I go 9 to 5, every Friday I'm getting, this much money, right? And that's great. We need that, right? There has to be some certainty in life, but what I can tell you with entrepreneurship is if you have something that's valuable, and you're putting out really quality content, you're helping a lot of people, know this. I can certainly tell you that you will see a return on that. It may not be the financial return that you want. It may not be the millions of dollars. It may not be the fame and the fortune, but you will help people. You will get, if you're doing things properly, if you get help from other mentors and you're coachable and you're doing things every day to improve your business, you will see a return. So it may not happen as fast as you want,
not in the form,
but it will happen. Either, it may not happen in the form, right? You might get more like just thankfulness from people, right? Like love and this feeling of gratitude from people versus like millions of dollars from just random people being thrown at you.
Maybe the person you're trying to connect with the most, like you're just not a good fit, but that person refers you to somebody else, or they share a piece of your content, and then like it just the dots connect themselves. So.
Dude, that's another great point that I want to make real quick too, is that currency isn't always in the form of dollar bills.
Yes.
Right? It's currency. In fact, I would argue that my biggest form of currency today that I give others is my time.
Yes.
Because I have 2 kids, I have a wife, I have a business, and I have hundreds of clients that I service every day. Not to mention we have people on our team that I have to show up and make sure they have what they need, right? So my time is my currency now. It's, if someone offered me, I told my wife the other day, it would be an absurd amount of money, right, to get me to go back to being in an office all day, every day, right? Because it's so much time and commitment that I'm paying with, my time. It's not me sacrificing dollars at that point, it's time.
Sweat equity, man.
Yeah, so when people share your stuff, when people like your stuff, when people comment on your stuff, or watch your stuff, in reality, they're paying you. Right? They just you haven't transferred that viewership and that commitment of time to dollars yet. That's the next thing that will happen.
It's just a different form of energy, and that's one of the biggest things that working with my personal coach one of the biggest things that I suffered, but like struggled with was, the thing keeping me probably the most from stepping out on my own was like, I just kept undervaluing myself. I was like, I felt bad for like, I don't want to overcharge people. Am I charging them what I'm worth? Am I charging them what they could go down the street to another person for? But she was like, no, you're looking at it all wrong. Like, what do they get from you? What's this exchange of energy? Is it, this sense of feeling way better about themselves when they walk away with you than somebody else? And just take that same concept of energy, of money. It's this, it totally took away this whole like, third world thing of like, hey, I'm taking something from someone that is worth way more than my time. And so like the whole energy exchange thing was just huge for me.
That's why I think when people are starting a business or working on anything, whatever you put out into the world, make it valuable, man. Like make it impactful, whether you're charging for it or not. In fact, make your free content, free value just so incredibly impactful that people, when they watch it, they feel like they invested so much and got so much back.
Like, I can't believe I got this for free.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you're trying to make an impact on the world, if you're trying to build a very, like, I mean, I look at like Apple commercials, right? So like I have an Apple phone, I have an iPad, I have all this stuff, right? The way their commercials make me feel, like they did a series before, it might have been a year or two ago, where they were making videos with the iPhone, showing the quality that you can make on the iPhone. And some of their videos were super cool, right? Super kind of like inspiring for me as an entrepreneur, someone who makes content. I was like, that's so dope. Like, I can do that on my phone. That's so cool, man. That gave me ideas, right? So of course I'm going to invest in their products because their free stuff, their way of advertising or just providing value is impactful. Makes you think.
Potential.
Yeah, it showed me potential. So when you're putting out content and you're creating like a podcast or YouTube videos, right? Make it valuable, man. Make it super valuable. That's another thing. If you just show up every day and you're like, how can I make this so dope that I'm giving away all the trademarks, all the secrets, and then people are really just then paying you with their time, but then when they're ready to invest with dollars, they're investing it more just for that accountability, that ability to communicate with me on a one-on-one basis or be on my team or whatever it might be, or actually have the physical product in hand, whatever it could be, but they've already invested at that point so much time and energy into you that it's like, it just makes so much sense to then say, okay, let me open up my wallet.
It's the next easiest step.
Yeah, it's like a no-brainer at that point. You know?
So true, man.
Awesome.
Kind of keeping this in line with like bullshit coffee talk. Like rein it back even more. So like we're also just two dudes. Like
we're just two guys.
Just two dudes
drinking coffee.
Yeah. So like
amazing radio voices.
When's the last time all kinds of eargasms over there? What if this wasn't coffee? What would be the beer in here?
Oh, well, it would be ginger beer.
You're a Moscow.
It would be ginger beer, mixed with vodka, mixed with wine, and then actually recently I tried a blueberry mule where they put like blueberries and like some blueberry sauce in it.
I've had that when I was at the Arnold.
Crazy.
My friend Daryl and I went out and we got it was blueberry like syrup or something. It had a mint leaf in it, and then had like a couple berries on top.
So good.
Super manly, but you know whatever. Fruits,
so I mean, if we're straight beer. I'm gonna say Stella is my choice.
Oh, that's classic, yeah.
Stella's my choice.
If I'm just like sipping on some beer, Stella's go-to. Other than that, I'm a big IPA fan.
So for whatever reason, beer, it must be like the gluten or something. I don't know what it is.
Wait,
it makes
did you say the G word?
The G word, I just dropped the G word on.
Get out of here.
I never lived this down, bro. You just lost all swag. I'm not a big beer person, simply for the fact that it makes me feel like shit. But Stella, like in the summertime, if I'm just like chilling, like in a barbecue, dude, it's hard to beat that.
It's the sippability, is that what they call it, I guess?
The what?
The sippability.
Oh, the sippability. Yeah. It's like so smooth. And it's got a pretty good kick. It's not like a light beer. It's relatively heavy.
And from like the health perspective too, like if I'm gonna be having like a few beers, like I'll always gravitate towards a lower alcohol content one.
Oh yeah.
Because like it's just like wasted calories, like lower alcohol content. Like if it's just something like cool and refreshing, like to drink like that, like Stella, I think it was like a men's health study I remember reading about a long time ago. Like, hey, if you're just gonna like be having a few, like it's like the best one.
Oh yeah.
Like it doesn't mess up your stomach, has a lower alcohol content, so you don't, it doesn't like dehydrate you.
Right. So. Yeah, I've noticed that it doesn't really have the impact that like a normal or like a heavier beer would have on me. But yeah, speaking of that, like the Moscow Mule is my thing, right? So Moscow Mule, if you're trying to go like a healthier route, vodka is obviously pretty low calorie, and you can actually replace the ginger beer with ginger kombucha.
Oh, really?
So yeah, so it doesn't taste exactly the same, but it tastes pretty close. It's got that ginger kick to it. So ginger kombucha mixed with vodka, and then obviously the lemon, or not the lemon, the lime, right? With a little bit of mint leaves in there.
So good, man.
Yeah, dude.
Have you gone there? Here in DC, there's so many good like drink spots. What do you think like the best Moscow Mule I've had?
Ooh, the best Moscow Mule. Actually, well, it's not DC. There's a really good one at the one they serve at what is it? The pizza place in Loud and One. Shit, man.
Mod?
Not Mod. Oh no, wait. What is it?
Matchbox.
Matchbox, yeah, dude. Matchbox has a killer mule.
Really?
Like, they crush it. Yeah, it's
all right.
Like I could probably drink 3 or 4, no problem. Like little bars around here. in DC. I'm trying to think, man. And you're probably more of the DC guy than me. I don't know as much about DC. I'm more like the club, the club guy. Hey guys, any Moscow Mule at the club? Like, sir, we only serve bottles. Sorry.
I don't know about like the quality, the taste, but like one of the coolest ones I've got was 801 Cafe. 821's in Richmond. 801 Cafe over in Shaw. It's a giant copper mug, like the size of my head. It's huge.
Oh my god!
I think it's a 44 ounce.
Dude, I'm there. We got to do that.
Huge.
We got to go do that. Let's get the wives
next episode. Yeah.
Yes, that is awesome. I've seen the videos of that actually. I think they have like
a giant copper mug. They give you like a shit ton of
straws. Dude, I'm so there. Oh, that's like summertime, like day party. Like, let's go drink.
We'll do that. We'll bring the camera. We'll probably get kicked out.
Yeah. We'll get drunk and probably break and shit, but it's cool, man. Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, I gotta try that for sure, man.
Yeah, man. So for people who don't know Josiah, he runs the Fitman Project podcast. His coaching company, True Transformation.
Yep.
I'll link all this stuff down in the show notes or the video notes. Sweet. This is like one of my first times doing like a audio video.
This is fun, man.
It's cool, right?
Yeah,
different things.
I think being a fly on the wall type of thing, where it's like, let's just talk about a topic. We had nothing planned. I'll be perfectly honest. Literally, as you hit record, I was like, dude, what was she talking about?
What are we talking about?
I heard something, I don't know, you put out, you were talking about your 90th day being an entrepreneur. It kind of just sparked my thought of like, I know that feeling. And so, it's just a good topic. But it relates to so much, man. Like, life is such a journey. And anything you do in life requires struggle. So we go run away from that. If I can give one piece of advice, is run towards it. Embrace it, man.
The thing you fear the most is what you have to do.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You'll feel alive at that point.
Yeah, his content's amazing. Him and I connected several months ago.
Yeah, dude, it's been a while.
Yeah, we cross paths a lot. Same circle up here. So
yeah, dude.
Yeah, this is just bullshit coffee talk.
Coffee talk.
Yeah, thanks again to Four Sigmatic. Again, they don't know it, but I'm gonna make them sponsor this video.
Empty mug, guys. This
stuff's so good. Yeah. If you're a coffee fan, it's instant coffee, but you can also get it in like the bag form, all ground coffee. And maybe I'll do like a this is coffee talk. Maybe I'll do like a pillow talk series. I'll get the Rishi. That stuff.
Lay on pillows and talk to each other.
Maybe not you.
Really weird. Yeah. Wives only. But.
Yeah, the Rishi stuff at night is so good. It like helps you chill out. But that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Go follow Josiah. Check out his podcast. I've been on his show. He's been on my show.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sweet, bro.
See you next time.
Yes. Awesome.